Ladies and gentlemen, let's Gamer to the video. A 28nm jump down to just 16nm is happening very soon, and with it we're going to be getting about 40% additional performance while consuming the same amount of power as currently with the 28nm process, which is going to drastically impact GPU designs and manufacturing, since AMD and Nvidia both rely on TSMC to produce their silicon. This is also an article if you want to go ahead and check it out, where there are some links that you might find helpful. But jumping back into this, Cadence are, I guess you could say, an unsung hero. While everyone, if I said to you AMD, or I said to you Nvidia, or Intel, of course, or even IBM, you'd of course know who they are. TSMC you probably know as well. Cadence, maybe not, unless you're hardcore into technology. Cadence, however, with their technology, are critical to the design and manufacturing of CPUs, GPUs, and so forth. Their software and hardware actually power the automation which creates the electronic circuit design. This makes them very important to the industry, and thus one of TSMC's most important and primary collaborators. When they're collaborating with TSMC, we now know, because as I said, it's on their website, I won't read this out because it's a completely very dry, but I'll give you the Cliff Note version. For an ongoing multi-year agreement, Cadence and TSMC will design infrastructure for 16 FinFet technology, which is obviously going to be used for mobile network and so forth, and addressing the complete flow from design analysis through sign-off. The company will provide an infrastructure for ultra-low power, high-performance chips. Now, the shiny part here, and perhaps the one that is going to interest most of you who are end consumers, is that we're going to be getting better performing hardware. While there's a lot of talk of, for example, Maxwell, or the Fiji architecture, or what have you, the bottom line is there are only certain amounts of things you can do with the process nodes that we've got, and effectively speaking, this puts a lot of extra power, I guess you could say, in the hands of chip manufacturers, or more specifically AMD and Nvidia and Intel, or actually not really Intel, but anyone who's actually using TSMC's foundries. If memory serves, Intel do not utilize their foundries. I think Intel produce their own stuff, but AMD and Nvidia do. So, oh, by the way, some of these manufacturers do actually utilize Samsung as well, but that's slightly getting really into the nitty-gritty stuff. When it comes down to it, there's only a certain amount you can do. While we're talking about Pascal architecture, and obviously, we've said, hey, Pascal is going to be amazing. It's going to have massive performance gains, and it will, huge. It's going to be using HBM2 and all of this other stuff, and it's awesome. It really is. Like, no one's denying this. But the actual change from, I guess the best way you can say this is that it's going to be a very exciting next couple of years. Speaking of next couple of years, we're not going to be getting it by, tomorrow. It will be by the end of the year. That's what they are saying, but it could roll into early next year. Obviously, a lot of this does depend on AMD and Nvidia, what they're going to be doing, maybe die shrinks and so on. It's possible, for example, and I'm just throwing this out there, this is not confirmation, this is not an industry rumor, but it's possible that Nvidia might say, hey, you know what, we're not going to have Pascal ready, but we might decide to do a Maxwell die shrink or what have you. It's happened in the past. But there is also another bonus to this. Let's assume that the manufacturer doesn't need the extra performance, and they need less power consumption. So rather than going ahead and utilizing 40% extra performance, but with the same power draw, they can do the reverse and use 50% less power than what they are now, but still have the same performance levels as 28nm. I just want you to think about that just for a second. That's huge. Huge when it comes to mobile. Or, well, socks. Because as we know, AMD are releasing their APUs next year, which of course are going to be Zen based, which are obviously their new x86/64 CPUs. They've already said that they're going to be utilizing them for APUs, which obviously means they're going to be leveraging their new GCN architecture, of course. And this means that their APUs are going to be pretty damn powerful, assuming they utilize this technology, which is probable. I'm kind of excited about the future. High bandwidth memory, 16nm, and obviously that's going to continue to shrink down to 14 and all of the other sizes that you'd expect, like 10nm. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.